Hello, welcome back. This is Brendan Lee with Consciousness and Skill Worldwide, founded by Peter Ralston. Thanks for coming back. Not that... if you're like coming back, it's like back to where and where are you coming from and where are you going and are you... Anyway, it's just like, what's going on with that? And I would say, well, you are coming back. Coming back to what? Watching another video, I guess. A question. This one comes from Dan. Dan, thank you. Boiling down the question, whenever we learn something or sense something, do we generally, whether consciously or not, subtle or obvious, complex or simple, ascribe it some kind of variation of positive or negative feeling or feeling or plural? And if so, do we do that as a part of our survival? And do these feelings make up a substantial element of what that thing is to us? And thank you for the question. And responding to your second follow-up email right after that, absolutely. I will, of course, say, hey, go check it out for yourself. Figure it out. Or like in my line, hey, think. Keep working. Good. You have the questions, and then keep working. So here's a brief intellectual answer. Yes, we ascribe positive and negative to everything, and yes, it's going to be a lot of what that thing means to us. And that is where our focus goes, inevitably. Like, I was having a little conversation earlier today where we were talking about, well, because the question comes up often, well, why should I contemplate? Which I'll probably do another video on that. And the fact that question even comes up in the first place, why should I contemplate, means that there is a value judgment based on what's good and bad. Is contemplation good or bad? If I get enlightened, is that good or bad? We need to know these things. So recognizing the need to ascribe value seems useful. Which is more value? Anyway, that's another story. I'll probably get into it in a future video. So that's the short intellectual answer. So now what can I do to further that? Let's go. Take a look. Look. So you're watching the video. Right now you have an experience. Now look what happens. Watch. See this? Now, see that? Is that good or bad? See, immediately you're like, you recognize if that's good or bad, right? Oh, it's a thumbs up. It's good. How about this? How about this? See, is that good or bad? How about this? Maybe if you're an American, it's like, oh, it's a backward peace sign. You're kind of ambivalent, maybe a little unsure, but in England it means, same as this. See, but look, how quickly, how long does it take you to decide whether you like that or not, or whether that's good or bad to you? See how quick that is? See, is that peace? Is peace good? Now take a look. The good and the bad is something you've learned, and it's something you're doing. It's not something that inherently exists in everything. It's something that you're crafting. Well, yeah, but it is good. It is good. Yeah, but how come, if you have that argument, how come if I do, say if I point the bottom of my foot at you, do you care? Well, if you're in the Western cultures, no, I don't really care. If you live in Thailand, though, that's the same as this. So then what's the deal? How come in one culture something means something and then in another culture it means something else? What's that say about the meaning and the value itself? Now we do have, so take a look. Can you see it? Can you see it? Now look, you are so good at this. I want to invite you to keep considering, and it's almost like if you're in a, and this is a metaphor, if you're in a jungle and you're looking around trying to find this dynamic, that the jungle will just look normal to you, depending on where you're at with your consciousness. You'll say, in this case, you'll say, oh, it just looks normal. But then I start to point out, hey, yeah, but you actually have good and bad about everything. And then you start to look for the good and bad. It's like looking for the sniper that is right there. It's there, been there, like the sniper has been there the whole time, but you just don't recognize that aspect because you gloss over it. But look, everything is good and bad. Everything is good and bad. And you're really, really fast. Like, I mean, see, like, even in my hand changing, soon there's like good or bad arising throughout the changes even. You are so fast. You see, as soon as you start to recognize something that might be bad even, you go, ooh, it's bad, it's good, it's ooh. And then everything is like that. And you can distinguish the good and the bad from everything, and then just let things be, and be in a as if state where you recognize as if the being of the thing, and then also the good and the bad, and how the good and the bad is not the thing itself. You can do that. See, so then use this and consider, like, so then what's going on? How come everything is good and bad? And then, okay, immediately my mind comes up with what I think is going to be the patent answer. Of course, it's for my survival. It's so I can distinguish things, and it's clearly so that I can navigate life. You know, how do you know what to move towards and what to move away from if you don't have this dynamic? And the answer that the intellect comes up with is not the same as the dynamic itself. The answer that you make up in your mind is not the same thing as grasping the dynamic itself. One is an answer of which you will ascribe more good and bad. Was my answer good or bad, you see? So then what's going on? How? And then you're like, yeah, well then how do I grasp that? The first step is to let it be there. Notice that it's occurring, and then question it deeply and grasp what it is. And then again, I come up with most people are going to stop with their intellect, and it's easy to go to intellect. It's all about answers. And I gave you the answer right at the beginning. Yes, of course, it's for your survival. It's so how you can differentiate between what is what. But the dynamic itself isn't the explanation. Check it out. And it's way powerful. And it's really, really fast. So then what's going on? Again, back into the questioning. See? You know, you look at me and you have judgments. This is the good and bad, charged, positively and negatively charged, emotional stuff about everything. You know, maybe I have a bald head and you don't like that. Maybe I have a bald head and you like that. Maybe I'm attractive. Maybe I'm not attractive. Maybe I do certain quirky motions that you don't like. Maybe the same quirky motions to somebody else, they like them. Oh, that's endearing. You see, so then there's good and bad everywhere. Do you like the colors behind me? Do you not like the colors behind me? Do you want what I'm presenting to be different? Do you want me to show up differently than I do? Like all this. Now, that's the video. Look around your surroundings and consider everything in the room that you're in, or if you're outside or your environment, you're also assessing everything. Do you like small dogs that yap a lot? Do you like to eat meat? Do you not like to eat meat? Everything. And then, so I am just touching the surface, but the dynamic itself is, as far as I can tell, it's all encompassing. So then my invitation is for you to recognize that. That's all. Just take a look at it. And you might learn something. You might learn something about the human condition and what we're like almost always doing. And then you might even you start to notice the dynamic, and then you notice that you make everything good and bad, and then that's a judgment, and then you think that you're somehow bad for that, you see? So, then it goes again. You even consider your own self in these terms. So it's everywhere. And just take a look and grasp what that is. And then you might have, well, it's bad. I don't want to do that. Well, you're not going to do that. It's going to continue until it doesn't, aka until you die. All right, you will have this going on. Now you can, if you want some freedom from it, it is useful to be able to, and you can do this right away. If you see something, you perceive something, anything, and then you can notice what you like about it. You can also notice what you don't like about it, but then you can also notice the thing itself. What we call for itself. You notice the thing, and you notice what you think is good, and what you think is bad, and what you feel is good, and what you feel is bad about the thing, and distinguish the feelings that you have from the thing itself. And then you can enter as if a state where you just view the thing itself, and it just is. And then your good and bad is as if additional, and you can recognize that that is something that you're doing. It's not something that is. So that's my invitation. And you can question deeply, like, what is this dynamic? How come human beings are addicted to this? I mean, in a major way. What's that about? Throwing out the traditional answers, because those are just more answers, you see. No, I want you to grasp it. Really do that. So thank you for writing in with the question. I appreciate it. If you have more, keep them coming. And as always, I will encourage you to check it out, and I will use the questions to provide as if a teaching service via the communication I'm trying to put out there, and then my further invitations. So thanks again. If you want to get serious, bam, check the links in the description below. Come do a workshop, do some other stuff. You're invited. This is Brendan Lee with Consciousness and Skill Worldwide, founded by Peter Relson. Thanks for your time. Take care.